Hey guys, welcome. It's Tuesday, and welcome to Tuesdays at Two Line Speedway or Two Line Slot Cars, whatever you want to call it. Hopefully, there's some guys that want to hang out tonight and talk slot cars. Not sure how your weekend went, but it's Tuesday. We're 2 days into the work week, and I'm ready to talk some slot cars. So, yeah, I don't know what's happening on your layout or your track, but tonight we'll talk a little bit about the changes my brother and I made over the weekend to my layout. Just finishing up all the things that I think I talked about before, but we got those finished. But then we did something I wasn't expecting. My brother showed up with some parts, some track, and he showed up with an extra pit lane. And so I started talking. Hey, George. How are you guys this evening? What's up, Sunday Slot Cars? I'm not going to be tricked. It's either Amanda or Billy. It doesn't matter which one or both of you. Welcome to the live chat. It's great to have you guys. Hey, Pioneer Slot. First time joining. Thanks for bringing more content to the community. We'll throw that up on the screen. Yeah, hey, I appreciate that. Thanks for that feedback. I'm glad to have you here on the live stream. This is just an open forum. We end up talking about all kinds of things about slot cars. We don't talk about the same thing every week, but I mean, we do talk about layouts and we talk about digital and analog, and I try to touch on whatever the group wants to talk about. So some updates, but yeah, Pioneer, thanks for being here. Happy you. Hopefully you'll enjoy the live stream. It's a great community. The guys that jump on and ladies that jump on are very intelligent slot car hobbyists. So we have great conversation. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, good times. Good times. So who else is on here? The De Leon Slot Car Raceway. Hey, I made it this time. Hey, great to have you. I tried to put a post out a couple hours ago that I'd be going live around 8. Trying to be consistent with that. I know some people have missed it and maybe didn't get the notification from YouTube. So hopefully I got that post out there early enough and then scheduled the post. I know I could schedule those posts earlier, but I hate to schedule it and then something happen because I kind of keep a crazy schedule. So I record a podcast with my buddy Mike, and this is our podcast studio, and I kind of take it over for the live stream. So a couple things. Yeah, great. Thanks. I'm glad it's sounding good. One update. I've tried to bring on a guest the last couple of times, and it's been a disaster. And so I finally found some time to do some research about my equipment that I'm using. So let me talk a little bit about my setup. I have a MacBook Pro that I'm running Ecamm Live. I have a Sony a6400 with a 16 millimeter Sigma lens, which gives me a nice wide shot. It's kind of like the go-to YouTuber lens. I love this camera. It gives me a great picture. I'm really happy with it. Great streaming. Just USB into my MacBook Pro. Ecamm Live does a great job of bringing multiple audio video streams in. The one thing I didn't know is my Rodecaster Pro, which is my audio interface that plugs into my MacBook Pro. I have it multi-track turned on because my podcast, I record all of the tracks. So usually we have 2 or 3 guests on, and I've got 4 or 5 microphones sitting around the table here. And I want to multi-track that so I can adjust somebody who's a quiet talker, or I can EQ them separately. But Ecamm Live doesn't like the multi-track. So I have to change the Rodecaster to Pro Stereo output, which I did a test last week right after our stream, after I figured it out. And it seemed to work. So maybe I'll get brave and bring somebody on the stream tonight. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So welcome, everyone. Yeah, George, you are moving. So you closed on your house. Now you're moving. Area 51 will start its reconstruction. So it'll be good. Hey, DeFingers, welcome, man. Glad to have you. Yeah, so we fixed it. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see whether I fixed the audio or not. Maybe we'll have to try it out just to see, or I could fail miserably like what usually happens. Hey, Mark, welcome to the live stream. And go with the flow. Go with the flow. Yeah, so some of the things that I did to my layout, my brother came over Sunday evening with great intentions to race, get some laps in, do some testing, just get better at drivers. And we spent an hour or so adding some lanes or adding some track to the layout. So I completed the table. It's 24 feet long now. We added about 8 feet. We added 2 lane changers, a double lane changer and a single would be left to right, so that you've got one extra turn to get to the pits. And then my brother showed up with an extra pit lane. And so we reworked and created a double pit lane. It's kind of tight. It may not finish up like that. I actually have a video I'll show maybe later. But the layout, I mean, I feel like we're getting there. It's pretty close to being complete. Gerardo, you made it. Welcome. Glad to have you on the live stream. So the layout, let me see. Maybe I can bring this video up. Let's see. Let's try it. Video. Okay. So now I think maybe I can't. Nope. Epic fail. Because I haven't loaded it into a program that I can bring up. If I could bring it up in the web browser, I'll work on that as we continue. The fingers, my track is gargantuan. So now I am at 112, almost 113 feet, which is right at 30 meters, 33 meters, I think that would be for all of you across the pond that are metric. So it is a pretty large layout. 8 foot by 24 feet is my table. I will tell you, it is a fun layout to race on. We did get some laps in. It was a lot of fun. It's fast, but it's 7.5, 7.3, I think, is the fast lap right now. We don't have a whole lot of laps, maybe 100 laps in on this layout. So we've not broke the 7 seconds. I think the fastest lap was the Carrera Formula One car. Almost, I don't remember. Yeah, we're getting there. By the time I'm done, maybe that's the goal. No, I think we're pretty close. Now it's just making sure that the track is live. Hey, Travis, what's up, man? Hope things are well your way. So welcome to the live stream. Just giving everybody an update on my layout, the things that I added. Yeah, Stephen, there will not be any knocking these walls down to fingers. My basement is all fieldstone. And yeah, it's not going anywhere anytime soon, I don't think. So if the track has to get bigger, I do have room to go bigger, longer, but that gets difficult to see if the track gets too big. You ask if we run the level 10. So some of the cars we can max out. We still run magnets. We're still learning to drive and get better at that. So we haven't really done a lot of non-mag racing. So I think that it is most of the cars we can run. You have to drive them if they're set at 10. I've got a couple cars, my NSR 908 Porsche and my GT40 slotted that I run at about 80%. And I'm now the front straight. I can top that car out in my front straight. It's about 23 feet, 22 feet long. And so you hit your top end, but you've got to hit the brakes even in the high bank that you're going into. So those cars I run about 80%, and those are my fastest laps. If I go to 10 with both of those cars, I spend more time marshaling because I hit that big turn just too hard and come out of the slot. So, but we've been working on brake settings and just trying to learn to be better drivers. So I can throw it up at 10 and keep it on the track. I just definitely can't use all the throttle, and that's only a 22.5K motor in my NSR. Dave, you find that your track is never big enough. Yeah, you always want to make it bigger, right? What I've done with my layout is, at one time it was kind of as Travis would call it, a spaghetti layout. And it had a lot of tight turns, and just to have track. And so we kind of reworked it and softened a lot of the turns and used a lot of larger radius turns, R3s, R4s, and hey, Conquest, welcome, man. And that really made the track flow so much better. I took out a couple chicanes just because they were complicated and they were very technical, and we spent a lot of time marshaling there and coming off the track. So I made the track a little easier to drive, I think. So for beginners, they do a little better on the track. I think it made it more competitive. I think it made it flow so much better that you can really get into a rhythm when you're driving. So the biggest straight that you had was 39 feet. You had plenty of room to build, for sure. Travis, I have a million questions for you, man. I need to bring you on to the live stream. Pachi from Argentina. I wish my Spanish was better. I don't know if that's right. Hola. 39 feet, man. I know. Hey, Zoe, welcome to the live stream, man. I still have my spaghetti track. It's not that there's anything wrong with the spaghetti track. A super technical track is still fun for me. I just think that my layout, I just wanted to simplify it a little bit and smooth it out. When you ask what app am I using, I'm using Ecamm Live. Let's see here, Travis. Let's do this. Where you at? I just sent you a link via Instagram. So if you check your messages in Instagram, you just go to that link and I can bring you on. So you don't, you just go to that link and I can bring you on. So you don't have to have the software that I'm running. It uses a web browser based, and you can jump right in. So if you're up for it, man, I would love to have you on. So hopefully the audio works. Amanda and Billy, you could laugh at me if it doesn't. He always follows and congratulates you. Oh, yes. I know. Thank you very much for doing that. So I only have about 100 laps in on the new layout. It's not really a new layout. It's just got some straights extended and added a few more passing areas. So we added 2 lane changers, a double lane changer kind of in the backstretch going into the last turn, and then a single that you can just pass on an internal things. Chris, you like your technical track. Chris, I needed to tell you something. I happened to be in Columbus today, and I stopped by Robbie's Hobbies, and they have a great selection of starter kits, and they have a lot of Scalextric cars. They had, maybe 20 or 25 Carrera digital cars and some Evolution cars. I didn't end up buying anything. They had a ton of track, but they didn't have any check lanes. That's what I was looking for. I was hoping I'd run into it. But yeah, great hobby shop. Now that Tom Thumb's is closed, I feel like Robbie's actually had more stuff than Tom Thumb had. So yeah, you read some Spanish. Excellent. That's great. So I need to figure out. There's what I need. So, how are things at your tracks today, guys? You guys doing well? Anybody do anything to their track this week? Except for Area 51, I know that he tore his track apart. Posted a nice video of his empty room. So that was kind of a sad day, but you've got new space coming, so that's pretty awesome. Chris is a talented machinist and tool builder. Yeah, cool. It was good. It's a good hobby shop. Had a lot of stuff, a lot of train stuff. I really would like a train around my Christmas tree. We have this big foyer, great big staircase in this house, and I've got a 12-foot Christmas tree, and it's dying to have a nice Christmas train around the bottom. And he had quite a bit of selection, so I'll probably end up going back up there and grabbing a train at some point. Picked up the new Ferrari 333 from MR Slot Car today in 3 liveries. Yeah, man. Did you get the link? If you got the link, I'll bring you in. It would be great to have you. Travis, that's who I'm talking to. So, Daily on Slots, I've been working on your infield landscape. That's cool. Oh, you uploaded 2 videos. I'll go check those out. I love scenery. I'm not sure that I'd be very good at it, but definitely. All right, Travis.
Hello, mates.
So, guys, you have to let me know in the chat if we're getting double audio from him.
Let me have a quick listen on the app. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm not sure that I'd be very good at Your live's a little bit delayed.
Yeah, I'm sure that anytime you live stream, there's a little delay when you're watching.
Hello, mates. No, it sounds okay.
Yeah, great. So, guys, let's keep going. So, Travis, welcome to Two Line Slot Car, the live stream. It's great to have you, man.
Look at this. Thanks, man.
This is good. We'll get DeLeon. We'll get back to your. I want to talk.
I chucked my Sunday best on for you.
Yeah. So, so is it all right for me to ask you some questions?
Yeah, some.
They won't be difficult. So.
I'm not very smart. You know that. I'm very simple.
So, one of the questions I wanted to ask you, and I've not seen you really talk about it in your videos, but how did you get into slot cars originally? Were you a kid?
How did I?
Yeah, how did you get into slot cars?
Without going too far back, I think I've raced RC, I've collected video games. I don't know if you've seen my post recently. I'm selling a lot of stuff, which I'll let everyone know why in the future. Exciting, but lots happening in my world at the moment. I always wanted them, mate. I've got a load of die-cast cars, and every time I went past a slot car shop, I'm like, they look just as good. I can drive them. But I think it was always something in the back of my head that there was never really much on YouTube for slot cars. I always wanted slot cars as a kid, which I didn't get. We were pretty poor family when I was a kid. I'm lucky now. I do okay now, but mate, it needed exposure. I love it. It's definitely my favorite hobby. I'm just so glad I jumped into it. But yeah, I think I Googled or searched YouTube videos on sort of slot car stuff just before COVID, and you're getting some main videos, but nothing really topic related, no unboxings, no real track builds, or there was nothing. It was just some real spot fire videos. So I thought, hey, let's jump on.
So your channel is how old? You started it right before the pandemic or during the pandemic?
So officially, so my channel's been around since 2013, but that was because I was a user. Like everyone, we have a channel because we're users. But
Right.
officially, it started uh, summer last year. So it's only a
Okay.
year and a bit old, a year and a
Okay.
half old.
All right.
Proper when I started doing proper reviews. I
Creating
used
content.
my camera. Yeah, creating content. So probably a year and a half, almost 2 years.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you've seen a lot of growth in your channel, probably because you were putting out things that people wanted to watch, right? I mean, people were wanting to see unboxing. They're wanting to see all these great new cars that come out, and then you have a pretty massive collection. So I can see that. That I mean, that's why I was watching your videos because I was wanting to get into the
Buy some
hobby.
weird stuff though.
Yeah, but that's
my,
okay.
my
That's okay.
my mentality is I do get some stuff at the moment. I don't at the moment because I'm not really doing much videos, but I do get stuff sent to me, of course. And I only accept stuff that I think people would like. But then I'll go and waste my money on stuff that I think people should see, but they shouldn't buy. Like some of the micro sets I've just bought, they're really fun, but
Yeah.
why would someone who's not a collector buy it? So I do buy some stuff just to go, hey, look what's out there.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, but
but I
that's
do
what makes
waste a
your
lot of
channel
money.
fun. That's what makes your channel fun. I mean, people check in because you showing some things that maybe that we've never seen before. So, like the go karts, you had the go karts. Was it? Yeah. Didn't you have the
Yeah,
go karts?
that was a bit of a bummer buy though because the set didn't work. I really wanted the whole track to work, but
Yeah,
the go karts did, but the set didn't.
but the set didn't.
But at the moment, mate, the channel's on a bit of a lull. I'm only doing bits and pieces because December I'm back in Europe for a couple of months, which I'll let you guys know now because I'm on your channel. But yeah, I'm in Europe again for 3 months to see
Oh wow,
family. So I'll be touring a lot of Europe and doing a lot of Euro slot car stuff. So the channel should pick up again late December.
that's really cool. I enjoyed your trip to Austria. My wife got a chance to go to Austria probably 10 or 12 years ago, and absolutely loved it. And
It's
I
awesome.
yeah,
It's
I didn't.
awesome.
She went to Budapest as well as part of the trip. Just really fell in love with that area of Europe. I've had a chance to go to Switzerland and for some reason my eyes watering. Switzerland and Germany and
No need
France.
to cry. No need to cry, mate. I'm here for you.
Yeah, that's all right, man. I'm not sure. Probably got some
Two
dust in my
songs in
down in
my
this
eye.
basement. Um,
Oh,
I had another question for you. Let's see, where did they go? Uh, so what? Well, you've alluded to you've got some things coming up. I was going to say, what's coming up on your channel? What are some things that I mean?
yeah.
We're all fans of your channel. Everybody that's on here, so they're excited when you put out new content. But anything cool you got coming up? I mean, you're rebuilding your track, maybe, or
No, if I'm being honest, it's been a pretty tough month, and I won't get into it, but it's been a very tough family month as
okay,
well as life month. So there's been a lot of stuff going on, which I can't really talk about yet. And I will do a video in the future about why so much stuff changed in the slot shed. But of course, being away for 3 months in Europe, back to Austria, the shed will be on hiatus again, so I can't
sure,
really do much in there. But I will try and do more visits. I don't have a lot of space in Austria where I'm going. I will be revisiting Carrera. They've been pretty good. So I'll be going to a finished shop and hopefully be doing some reviews on their tracks as well. That'd be fun. Um, but I just got to try and make whatever I can work. But I'll be doing more live stuff if I'm being honest when I go over there and just changing the channel more away from having a big track because I won't have it.
right.
But I'll be visiting. I'll be visiting more places. So hopefully it's fun and trying to add a little bit of diecast stuff in there as well, just to change it up now and then because I have a massive diecast car collection too, but of course, slot cars is my passion. So,
Well, I mean, I would say a lot of us probably started in diecast as kids. I mean, I know I've had a million Hot Wheels and Matchbox cars, so
yeah,
it's a natural progression from diecast cars to slot
it is.
cars.
It
Yeah,
is.
yeah. I was in a hobby shop today for work. I was in some training in Columbus, Ohio, and there's a hobby shop I'd never been to, and they had a lot of Skeletrix track, and they had a lot of starter kits, and so they're prepping for Christmas and the buying that's going to happen. And so I'm hoping that because there's more content out there for people to see on YouTube and learn about slot cars, that maybe it'll be a great Christmas for the slot car hobby. A lot of people will jump
Yeah.
in with a starter set or something. So it was exciting to see them
I
get.
think the hardest thing is the Christmas time is really good. You'll see a lot of sets get sold, but then they get put back in the cupboard. It's a hard hobby to And I'll probably do a video coming up about how can we change the face of the hobby. And I don't know if you've seen, I'm sponsoring a race here in Australia with some juniors.
Yeah.
I'm paying for the first, second, third car. It's over a 2-week race. I can't go, unfortunately, because I'll be in Europe by then. But I think starting from there and getting the kids in first, that's where I think around the world we have to all come together and go, hold on. A lot of the legends, 50s and 60s and 70s, which I love them, but they're holding it all together right now. And then people like ourselves, I'm not a spring chicken. I'm almost hitting my 40s, which I probably look more than 40s. But, we are getting on as well. So we need to bring in, MP's the best for this because he looks the youngest. I think he's in his mid-30s. If he's watching, sorry, MP, I can't remember. But there's a lot of things we can change. There's a lot of things we can promote in the hobby just other than the cars and racing, because when someone thinks of our hobby, it's pretty much pulling the trigger and racing a car. But you've got diorama building, you've got scratch building, you've got drag racing. Our hobby is so broad, we sort of need to come in on every angle and show every scale. And that's my goal for 2023 is just trying to promote the whole lot if we can.
Right.
And obviously visiting, putting your face somewhere and saying, hey, I'm dedicated. I'm going to go to Germany and visit Nemus or all these tracks just to say, hey, I'm in it for the long run. That's my goal for 2023.
Yeah, that's cool. At the hobby shop today, I'm looking at cars, and there's a guy that's asking questions. He's like, yeah, I've always wanted to build a track, and I'm moving into a house that's got a gigantic basement. Where do I start? And so I was like, I've got some YouTube channels you can check out. And so we had this great conversation today about, like, where's a great place to start with your first track? Understanding how, like, you're right. Like, people get a starter kit for Christmas. They don't really have the space to keep it up all the time. So you have to understand how large these layouts are and how much space they take up. So, yeah, that's great. Where do you see slot cars in 2 years, 4 years, 5 years down the road? I mean, what?
I've always said this, and Dave Kennedy is the same. And this is not for free stuff. This is definitely a key component we are missing in our slot car world. There's not many YouTubers. I wouldn't call myself a YouTuber. I've got 4,000 subscribers. I mean, come on, a YouTuber is 100,000 plus.
Right.
But we are promoters, I guess you could say, of the hobby. You need more big companies backing people like ourselves, showing us new product. Even if we have to send it back, we don't have to keep it. But they need to invest in us and say, this is the new stuff, even before release. Get the hype going. We don't do that very well unless we reach out to them or we buy the product or, I've been knocked back by a lot of companies in the slot car world to say, hey, can I show this new track piece you're doing? Because people are excited and they miss the opportunity. Where Lego, die-cast cars, video games, they're already in front of the 8 ball. They'll give the person the product with clear instructions, but you see it before it's out, and that gets the hype going. But let me say, a lot of the micro brands, like SRC, I've been a part of them now for 5 years. Previous to the YouTube channel, they've supported me since day one. They're not a big company, but yet they're happy to throw product at. I think there's 17 of us now that are doing promotion in some kind of way, and that's costing them money. But you know what? SRC's name is coming up.
Right.
BRM, Revo, NSR, they've all been really good. They've thrown stuff our way to promote and show. But the big two and now the big three, SCX, they really need to just do a little bit more, because when you say slot cars, what do you think of? Scalatric or Carrera?
Right.
And some people will think of SCX. Really, that's the main thing. And people call slot cars normally, oh, you got Scalatric, which is, that's not slot cars, but that's a brand. So if those three get on board and even if it's in their own countries, like, UK or UK, America, whatever, get behind someone, get behind a group of people and help promote it. And that's how I think it'll grow. And digital, which I don't do enough of.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of opportunity out there. You're right. When you look at the slot car channels that are on YouTube, they're not gigantic. I mean, your channel, Dave's channel, then you've got Johnny Hobbies that is decent size, and he covers a lot of hobbies, not just slot. He does a lot of slot car videos, but he covers a lot of hobbies. You've got Harry Wise. If you want to learn to tune a car, you watch his channel, right? But we don't have. It's not a niche that's going to have, a channel that's got 100,000 subscribers. But if one of the big companies got behind your channel or Dave's channel or any of these other channels, if they like a person, If they like a personality and they get behind it, then they could help push those channels to a broader audience and that has an opportunity to even influence even more. So listen, you show us a car, and I'm influenced by that. I mean, I pay attention to your reviews. I pay attention to Dave's reviews, because Harry's reviews, because I trust what you're saying. But again, like those big companies, they don't see that as influence, and they're wrong. It is influence. You guys are influencing purchases.
It's free promotion.
Right? It's free promotion. That's right.
But I think the other thing I'm trying to change as well is the way it's filmed as well. Like I'm not very good at the whole technical side of it. I do my best when it comes to putting a video together, but sort of mimicking a blog / on the road tour video, I think that will give more influence to the hobby itself. Like my Salzburg video was really fun to do when I went and visited that track. I think more of that just makes it more realistic. I don't know why, but I think it changes the tone of the video. Instead of here's a car, let's review it, because I think all of us can do that. So I think I don't know, there's many ways we can make it. I challenge you. I think someone could get to 10, 20,000 subscribers. I think Dave will be the first to do that, and it's well deserved.
Yeah.
But you never know, mate. The hobby's pretty popular. There's a lot of cars on offer. There's a lot of brands on offer. We just need to keep pushing. But people like yourself jumping in front of a mic, going live, you got 19 people watching. Incredible. Like, every bit helps, man.
Right. Yeah. And I think that will continue to grow. Like this live stream is early, and I don't know a whole lot about this hobby. I'm learning. So everything that I'm trying to do comes from a beginner's point of view, right? And that's kind of what I'm trying to do. But I have people now making comments on my videos. They're like, "Dude, you're almost a year into this. You're no longer a beginner. You've expanded your layout.
You know what to look for. You know what to look for in the product, and you know what. But like I said, I don't focus on all the new stuff where." I think the problem with my channel, it's like ADD. It's got too much going on at once. I try one thing and then I do another thing. So I haven't really found the niche, but I'm just trying to expose everything, like 164, 124, 132. I don't think there should be that line in the sand when it comes to scale. So I'm trying to break that wall down as well, because there is. 164, the HO versus the bigger scales, there's always that, what's better? Well, it's different size. Who cares?
Yeah.
But I'm learning every day.
Yeah, I run into guys usually at the hobby shop talking about, they're a wood track guy. And then there's the plastic, they call, the plastic cars is what they call the cars that I'm running. And I'm like, there doesn't need to be a division in that. Like, I would love to run both. If I had a wood track close, I would probably run on a wood track a lot. But at my house, plastic makes the most sense. And so I don't know why there's...
And you can change it up. You can change it up whenever you want. And again, it's the mag versus no mag. It's like, I don't care. Life's too short.
I can't believe we're arguing over...
I personally like no mag because I'm not as fast and I have to drive the car a bit better. But then I would like a car with a mag because it's hopeless to drive without a magnet. So I need a mag in that car to get it to perform. But with my reviews, I take them out of the box, which I get a lot of stick for. I do whatever lubing needs to be done and maybe a little bit of a tickle on the tires, and I run them as they are stock, because you know what? If you say to someone, here's our hobby, here's $100 car, now let's chuck in this big motor, these tires, this new gearing, whatever, let's change the engine pod, that will scare them straight away.
Right.
So that's why my reviews are always the car from the box.
Yeah, and that makes perfect sense.
I think my connection's going funny. Sorry, mate.
That's all right, man. Maybe it'll catch up.
I'm upside down.
I think that there's always opportunity to bring new people in, and it's going to take people who have tracks inviting people into their homes to say, hey, come hang out for an hour or two and race cars, and people get hooked. They try it once and they're like, okay, I'm ready to buy my own car. And that's what's happened at my track. Yep. So I've invited friends over, I've invited family members. My kids, they don't live at home, they're college kids, but they're coming home for Thanksgiving, and all week long we've been trash talking back and forth and who's going to win the family race night. So next Tuesday, my house will be full of family racing. It's going to be a blast. Can't wait.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Is my connection still bad on your side?
It's not too bad. You're a little fuzzy, but your audio is great, so we'll keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's good that
So
it's not. The
so
fuzzy's okay.
yeah,
I look younger.
yeah. We can deal with bad video. It's the bad audio that we can't deal with. So
No,
if
you
you
let
were
me know.
if you were going to if you were going to design your own car, what would it be? I know you're a big Porsche guy, so I'm guessing if you were going to build your own slot
I
car,
love.
I,
Look,
I
it's
am too, man.
hard. You know what? I've had a lot of JDM cars, real ones in my life, and I've got a big heart for JDM. I've had an R32 GDR. I've had 33. I've had
Nice.
a lot of JDM cars. So I would probably try and build something straight off the top of my head. I'm thinking right now a Stagia, which is the Nissan Skyline station wagon,
Okay.
because I don't think wagons get enough love. And I love Hot Wheels, how they market their brand. They've got transporters, wagons,
Right.
Euro cars. So I would try and go, I'd go a Stagia wagon or a Starion, Mitsubishi Starion in the rally spec. That's where I'll probably go straight away, just to spark a little bit of difference.
Yeah. So do you think there's more opportunity in slot cars to bring, um, I like celebrities in? So like I know that SCX did a series of cars with Ken Block, his rally car,
Yep.
right? I mean,
Yep.
are big companies, are they missing the boat on bringing in some of those types of cars?
I think the hardest thing, and I mean, Dave has talked about this offline, the first thing is molding. Molding's expensive in licensing. So
Sure.
yes, we want all these cars that celebrities drive. I saw a Datsun 510 BRE in the comments, which I think BRM should make that in 124 and it would sell like hotcakes. But it's only got 3 or 4 liveries. So when it comes to a celebrity car, I can see the movie cars coming first, which we're already seeing that now
Right.
because
Yeah.
of licensing and collectability. Yes, there's definitely a market, but it comes down to money. I wish and I hope, and I know Hot Wheels have done slot cars before, but I know they're teaming up with Johnny Lightnings on some of their, or Auto World on some of their cars. You've seen Hot Wheels release a couple of tracks with Carrera. Hot Wheels really needs to go, here's our library of molds, here's our library of diecast licensing. Let's turn them into a huge range of 164 or HO. I think that will be a good way to get massive interest in a smaller scale.
You're right.
That's okay,
Yeah.
because quality's changed. Like some of the cars, I mean, I just did an unboxing of a new Chase by Matchbox. Stunning.
Yeah.
Like they're stunning. So that will get interest in some way. Yes, it's not the bigger car, but more people can buy that because of the room. And then we just branch off. Then we just take the ones that sell really well in 164 and put them into 132.
Right.
But it's money, mate. It's money,
Sure.
and it's
Yeah.
a niche hobby. It doesn't move. We've got Kmart here. I think you have as well. We've got Big W here. We've got Target here, and none of them stock slot cars,
Right.
and they're all our big brands. No one stock, just hobby shops.
Right. Yeah. You're right. It's such a small hobby in the grand scheme of things. In Walmart and Kmart, they want big margins, and so
Yeah.
a starter, they're not going to sell a starter set that's $200 or $300 American dollars. They're going to sell a $40 or $50 kit. That's why the ones you do see in those big box stores are usually battery powered
Yeah,
kits.
knockoffs,
Yep.
cheapos.
Cheaps.
I've got a couple of cheapos that I wanted to review them. Like, do I want to lose $20?
Right.
But sorry, Chris Neal said tooling. Sorry, Chris, you're right, mate. Tooling, not molding. Apologies, mate. But I had something on my tongue I was going to say. Now I forgot. It'll come back. It was very important.
Yeah, the tooling is expensive, though. You're right. I mean, I understand that they have to move a certain number. They almost have to be guaranteed we'll sell this number of cars, so they can kind of work backwards the numbers to make sure that they've got a profit. And then
So
everybody
my
wants a profit.
honest opinion is, if we follow the diecast car world as good as we can when it comes to marketing and I guess car trend, because they do dictate the market when it comes to what cars are selling, and you'll see, Fast and the Furious or JDM, they're exploding in the diecast world. Diecast cars really dictate what's popular. So if we follow some kind of trend with them, whether it's we group them up into Euro cars or we do some batch runs of like transporters or whatever it may be, I think that will help a little bit. But you've got all these companies now that are vying for that one or two purchaser, because remember, they're expensive.
Right.
So they're not going to come together and sort of take the uniform approach to selling slot cars, if you know what I mean. Scalatric, Carrera, SX, they're not going to come together and go, yeah, that's a great idea. They're going to still try their own thing. So
Right.
it's tricky, man, because it's expensive. It's
Right.
all money.
Right. It sure is. When I think about the cars that I'm seeing, like I'm new in the hobby, the cars that I own, they're all really like great performing cars. And then I have a couple of friends that are like, hey, I have my old slot cars from when I was a kid, and they've given them to me, and they're junk. I mean, you know what I mean? What was being built in the 60s, they look cool and they're great, but they don't perform well.
No.
And we're very fortunate. We're in a, Dave calls it the next golden age of slot cars.
It is.
Some amazing cars. Just the detail, even Carrera and Scalextrics. I mean, the cars are the C8 Corvette is a fantastic looking model. It is great.
It's come a long way.
Yeah.
I mean, I collect Porsches, and I've got a heap of Scalatric Porsches. Then they've got the bathtub chassis that's sort of on an angle. But that's why I buy it, because it's a waste of money. But you're right. You buy a Porsche now with even like when you jump up to Fly in the 2000s, it just got better and better. And now it's just like, we're spoiled. NSR, Slotted, SRC, BRM. I love BRM. You'll probably hear me say that a lot, because the 124 scale done to perfection. It's not skimped down.
Yeah.
If you haven't got one, just buy one for it as a model, because it looks sick. But if you drive it, you'll never go back. It's awesome.
And
I think we're lucky.
Yeah, I definitely my track is a Carrera track, so I could definitely race the 124 scale on it. So yeah, I'm excited about jumping on a 124 scale.
And I'll be doing a video on that soon, just like a 5 tips for starters, because track, the two big things is space and track. Because everyone asks me, I get a lot of messages daily, should I go Carrera? Should I go Scalatric? Should I go digital? Should I go Evo? Should I go Ninko?
Right.
I'll do a video soon on just like a basic, this is what you should look at before you even get into the hobby. Because if you're running Carrera, I automatically know you've got space, or you're going to have a spaghetti track, because you're trying to get as much track as you can.
Right.
So there's a lot of tips you can have before you go into it, but that's all personal preference, I guess.
Yeah, I went digital because the fact that I could have 4 or 5 people racing at once and lane changing, I thought was brilliant.
Awesome.
So yeah, it is fantastic. When we have a track full of guys running at the same time, it is a blast. It's chaos, but it is a blast. I mean, there's nothing better.
Well, you're lucky you got friends, mate. I've got digital, but I'm too far away from everyone, so I just swap it around. As you can see in my videos, I go analog power base and then digital power base. But if you ask me the truth, digital is the future. It has to be.
Yeah.
There's no better racing, no better feel than a wood track. The dance on a wood track, I love. You follow the track, it sounds weird, but you can almost feel the car through the trigger.
Right.
But there's no realistic racing like digital, and I think that's the number one way we should be going.
Yeah. So that's my new design on my layout. It has places where I think it feels like a wood track. I was looking for that type of flow, a little wider turns, some banking. And I can feel that in the trigger, like you said. Like I have coming on my track, I've got a place where it's like a mid straightaway into a downhill into a hairpin, and I can feel the car like move all the weight shift.
It's weird, isn't it? It's a weird sensation.
Yeah, it is a weird sensation, and I know exactly how I have to drive that to keep the car in the track. That's what makes it so much fun. It's a fun hobby.
I think the only trick, if you want to get a wood style feel, you just don't chuck any track in there that upsets the car. So what I mean by that is, if you're doing a straight, don't have a quick kink in it, or try and keep the straights as straight as you can, and the corners as. I see a lot of people do long arc corners, but they put a straight in the middle. That just upsets the car, and it makes it almost clicky clacky. Yep. So when I design a track, which I've gotten better over time, I don't use the track design. I just pretty much go, this is what I'm thinking, and then I go for it, and it changes as I go. But the trick is, don't put any track in that upsets the flow of the car. So that's my number one rule when I'm trying to do a wood style track, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I would agree. I had a bunch of leftover track, and I thought, I can't let this sit in a box. I got to use it. But then in the end, I didn't really like the layout because it had some chicanes. There were lots of things that upset the cars. And so I simplified, and the layout is so much better now. So
Because there's nothing wrong with a couple of long arcs and a couple of nice S's into a hairpin, because that hairpin will then reset the car,
Right.
and then you can continue on. So there's nothing wrong with having a full stop corner. You just wouldn't put that in a flowy bend or a flowy, and that's how that's how my brain works. But I do love wood routed tracks, mate. The dance is beautiful, and I'm not a very good dancer.
Well, Travis, I don't want to take up your whole evening, but I really thanks for jumping on. This has been fantastic. Hopefully, I've tried to pay attention to some. There's a lot of conversation going on in the chat. I haven't been able to keep up with it. I think it's following most of what we were talking about. But I don't know. Anybody out there have questions for Travis before we let him go and get back to?
Oh, this is your show, mate, not my show. I'm here to learn from you today.
I'm going to take advantage of you jumping in with us. My hope is that to bring more people on, because we have a lot of great voices right now in the hobby, and everybody brings something great to the table. So I just appreciate you spending some time. Let's see.
I just need a better camera, but I promise you in December, mate, when I'm in Euro, I'll do it again with you.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, we'd love to see what's going on there with the hobby. And 3 months.
But I'll jump off, mate, because you're probably going to see a little kid run in soon, because I've got my son home today.
Yeah. Hey, I appreciate it. Thanks for being on. Thanks, Travis.
Do I just press hang up? Is that how I get off?
Yep. I'll take care of you on the side too. All right, guys, that was awesome. Thanks, Travis, for jumping on the live stream. That was a lot of fun. I'm trying to catch up with some of the things that were happening in the chat. Yeah, Chris, you were saying use inserts in the tooling. One tool can make numerous cars. Yeah, I think that maybe there's an opportunity for companies to get creative with their tooling. I'm sure that they think about those kind of things, how best they can. I mean, that's why they put out a lot of liveries of the same car with minor changes, because I think they can rework some of those, some of that tooling to accommodate it. But yeah, that's great, man. George, I would say we are fortunate. There are so many products out there, even accessories for slot cars. But I think Travis was making a great point. If somebody jumps in the hobby and the first thing they have to do is take that car that they just bought and spent $50 or $60 on and, upgrade the tires, upgrade the motor, upgrade the braids, do all this tuning to it just to have fun, then we lose them. So that's one of the things that we have to be careful. That's why I think every club should have like a box stock class. I don't have a club track, but if I were to have opened this up to the public and sponsor a club race, there would be a bone stock right out of the box class, so that people don't have to invest a ton of money to have fun. Lionface. That's the hard part about getting across in YouTube videos. A lot of videos you see the cars zip about, but you can't make out the movement of the cars and how they're being driven. Yeah, I think that you make a great point there, Lionface. I've had people complain about my channel not showing enough racing. It's hard to capture great footage without some equipment. Conquest built a camera car out of a 1/24 scale car so that he could get great footage in his videos. I think he puts out videos with some of the best footage I've seen on YouTube of slot car racing, and that's because he went the extra mile to build a car specifically for that. What was that next? See how much the car moves. Hey Travis, great work on the channel. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Pioneer Slots, man. Thanks, Travis. That was good stuff. Nick, I agree. He's one of the best. He always calls everybody else legends, but he quickly became a legend in the slot car world from a YouTube standpoint. So Zoe, digital brought you back. So you were an analog guy for a long time, or you got out of the hobby and digital brought you back? Yeah, digital is what brought me into the hobby. When I started doing research on YouTube and watching some channels that were showing footage of digital tracks, I fell in love really quick. Let's see here. A whole lot of conversation. You're in injection molding. Chris, do we need to build a slot car? Slot car. I'm joking. I don't know anything about injection molding. My mom, when I was a kid, worked at Rubbermaid Plastics, and they did injection molding. So she would have been a pro. Hey, TNT, good to see you, man. Thanks for jumping in tonight. Man, this has been a fun episode. So I'll be reaching out to some of you other guys that have channels, so that we can bring on additional guests. I was just really happy that Travis wanted to jump on and join us tonight. I had a million questions for him. I even had some rapid fire questions, but I was kind of prepared for anybody who jumped on. But knowing one can is great though. I'm jumping in the middle of conversation, DeVinger. Sorry, I'm not sure what you're referring to. But yeah, this has been really good. I think that he made the comment. Travis made the comment about the larger organizations getting behind some of these channels that do have some influence. And the reason why I started my channel was that I was quickly gaining a passion for the hobby. I fell in love with it very fast and just wanted to grow my knowledge. And knowing that I would be asking questions in my content that other people would be able to give me answers for. Like, I have one video out there that I really need to retract, where I talked about the Carrera wireless controllers. You could not use 2 wireless with 4 wired controllers. I tried it a million ways, I thought, and could not get it to work. But somebody commented on my channel and said, hey, I got it to work. Put the wireless on channel 2 and 6, and then the rest, 1, 3, 4, and 5 are your wired. And so I came back down to my basement, plugged it in that way, and it worked. And I would never have learned that. And I was giving out misinformation because I couldn't get it to work. But because I posted that video, somebody helped me figure it out. And they're like, hey, I figured it out once. This is what I did, I think. Try it and see if it works for you. And it worked. That share of knowledge was huge. And I'm appreciative. So now I can run 6 with the 2 wireless we have, and it's fantastic. Gerardo, you heard it here. As per Maurizio, Ferrari Slotted is starting to develop a Datsun 510. What? Who posted that? Maurizio announced that, Gerardo? Oh my gosh, a Datsun 510? That's exciting. That will be a very popular car, even in the U.S. Those early Datsuns, JDM's growing and more popular here now than it's ever been. Probably because of the one JDM show that was on Motor Trend Network really showed that there's a lot of interest in that car. Well, that's why we do videos, to share and gain knowledge. Yeah, I agree. It's really building a community that I'm enjoying. I feel like I have some new friends that maybe I would never have met. I mean, obviously would never have met before. So yeah, Datsun. Yeah, Polycar. Yeah, see, I think Polycar has a great opportunity to make some impact, because I really feel like Carrera and Scalextric really, they totally ignore the American market. And I think Polycar could sneak in and really grab a share of new, especially with this 4-lane starter set that they're putting out. If they ship some of that to the United States, I know I'll build one. I'm excited. I would love to have a smaller test track that's analog. So all this media helps draw new blood into the hobby. DeFingers, I agree. I think that what drew me in was a conversation with my buddy John Mark. Said, hey man, you got all this new space in this basement. Have you ever thought about building a slot car track? And which we'd had conversations about it before. And it was like, man, that started me down the path of researching what kind of track I was going to build. And then everybody's jumped on board. My brother Dusty, he's in deep with me. I mean, he owns half this track. Hey Pioneer, thanks man. I appreciate it. Get the kids to bed. I understand. So guys, yeah, we're right at about an hour. So we'll wrap up here in a few minutes. But I appreciate you jumping on. You'd show, but can't post pics. With Polycar with 2-starter 4-lane, we'll have. I agree too. I think it will have a great impact. The one thing they have going for them is their track is really grippy, and so pretty much any tire that you run that comes on a stock car will perform pretty well. I feel like Carrera track, it doesn't have a ton of traction, which I think is why a lot of guys paint the Carrera track. One, to make it look more like racetrack, and two, that latex paint really gives it a lot of grip. So, yep, I agree. Polycar they have an opportunity. I actually reached out to them a couple weeks ago and said I would love to test your new track starter set. And they asked me where I was located, and I gave them my information, but I have not heard anything back. So, sorry, excuse me. Nick, what's the deep rabbit hole? Hey, Ross, thanks. Appreciate that. Yep, if you hit the thumbs up, give me a like, it'll push this live stream out to a lot more people, and we'll just get more people in the conversation. So I have no idea what kind of numbers we had tonight watching, but I appreciate it. This was a really fun conversation. I'm glad I got to ask Travis some questions that I've been dying to ask him about. I was not sure how long his channel had been around. I mean, I think I could look and see, his account had been around since 2013, but went back and started looking, and it's been, a couple of years of content. So he's grown really fast, but it's because he's got a great personality and great on-screen presence, and very knowledgeable when it comes to collecting cars and the hobby. So, hey, Dave, thanks, man. Appreciate you joining us tonight. Let's see. Yes, slot cars. I got it. Thanks, Nick. Yep. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, you can get several kids racing at a time. I think that's the beauty of digital, is you can run 6 cars at a time, and you have an opportunity to have more people involved. The Nationals, we asked. He said, "Let's get it going." Are you talking about a conversation with Maurizio at the USA Nationals? I think that was a big step of trying to get the word out about the hobby. Hosting a national event like that, I thought that was very smart on Slot It. We've talked a little bit about, I think it was George and I talked a little bit about that. We watched those streams, and we were a little disappointed that the racers moved over to NSR tires and on Slot It cars, and it was the Slot It had spent a bunch of money and sponsored that event. So we hated to see that. Yes, definitely. Raul definitely would love to redo our segment. I'd love to talk about your how your footage is fantastic. I always enjoy your videos because you have such great footage of racing, and like they were saying earlier in the chat, that's one of the hard parts. Hey, Clint, welcome, man. You missed it, Travis. That slot car guy was on the live stream, and the audio actually worked, so that was a big plus. So yeah, man, good to see you. Welcome. Definitely, and George and I need to jump on the stream too, especially after Area 51. When you get, I'm curious to see if you're going to document rebuilding your track at your new location. That would be great. But yeah, I'd love to have you guys on. Good stuff. Did we hit everything we wanted to hit? I hated that Clint just jumped on and we're getting ready to bail. So, guys, I think we'll try to keep it right on an hour. That was fantastic. Clint, you'll have to rewind and watch. You might give YouTube a minute because it takes a while for them to put the live chat out there. I think it might be a pretty good episode. You don't really need the live chat when we're talking to Travis, but all the other conversation is a little easier when you can see the live chat. So yeah, that'd be great. Club shooting slot cars is a challenge. Yeah, I agree. I watch a few racetracks. Cincy Slots has been live streaming some of his racing, which has been fun, and that's pretty close to me. That's 2 hours away, so I'm going to try to get to one of their race nights just so I can participate and just watch how it works. So that's pretty cool. And then First Capital, I think, is a channel that's all they post are their races, and it's kind of fun to watch those guys. It looks like they have a lot of fun, and he does a great job with it. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it, man. Ross, thanks for showing up. Tim, appreciate it, man. I'd love to talk to you about your layout. You have a nice big layout, and you host some racing, so maybe we can talk. Sunday slot cars. See you next Tuesday. Yeah, I would. I'll send you guys I've got a couple questions for you. I'll send you guys a message offline, Amanda, Billy. But would love to have you guys jump on too, because I think it's great. You posted earlier about getting your wives involved. I would love to get my wife involved. She has no desire to understand slot cars at all, but it would be fun to be able to do that. But I have some questions for you, so I'll send you a message offline. So guys, yeah, First State. That's right, Tim. Yeah, First State. They do a nice job with his videos. He usually puts like pole position and the qualifying in and then how they finish. It's really cool. Yeah, let's plan for it. I'll send you guys some messages and we'll get some things lined up. Yeah, Sunday slots. I'll send you a message and maybe we can put people on a calendar and have you come on. So it was fun having other people outside of the chat in the video. So guys, have a great week. Hopefully you have find some time over the holiday coming up. I still plan on jumping on Tuesday, but the live stream will probably be a lot of the racing that's going on with the family. So I'll let you guys peek in on that. So Zoe, your wife said no. My wife did too. You're not alone. So guys, thanks. Appreciate it. Have a great week. We'll see you next Tuesday.